Hi and welcome to another YouTube video inspired by the release of the Little Campers kit, which I think is my favorite kit that has been released to this day. I mean, the Blooming Rooms kit was also incredible. I love that one too, but this one maybe is a competitor as well. But yeah, inspired by the Little Campers kit, I decided to build 3 tree houses that together kind of form just like this paradise childhood home. That was my goal with this build, and I think I succeeded, but everyone has to decide that for themselves. And so yeah, for me, building tree houses is something that I have been wanting to do for quite a while, but it's really difficult. I don't know how people who do this maybe more often or maybe more successfully do it, but I think it can look wrong so easily, like the way that you place it inside the tree or the way that it merges with the trees. And it's also very difficult because of course the trees are going to clip into the interior, and with the little hut all the way in the back, it's sitting really nicely in between 2 branches, and so I think that's very beautiful. That fits very well. And when you get so close to the house that you actually can look inside, the game kind of like blends out the tree, so that is not really a problem. But with the 2 houses that are more in the front, it's kind of like more obvious how the trees like blend into the interior. And so what I did there was I used those circular windows from Cottage Living to kind of mark the entries of the branches into the house and make it seem like it's intentional. And especially in the smallest house that is like the furthest downstairs, it worked the best in my opinion with the branches. With the one in the middle, it kind of just doesn't look right because there are so many leaves that are inside of the build, but when you get close enough to it, those kind of blend out as well. And then I also really like the interior of this house. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Little Campers kit, because I'm still like so excited about the release and so inspired. So yeah, I think there are a lot of really cute items. I kind of made a top 10 list in a short that I did with these new build items, and especially for the pillows and the fairy lights, I'm just so excited. And so this build is kind of like, I started it midday and it was all just like very bright, and I left those colors with like the whites and the blues, how they kind of contrast with the trees and stuff. But then when I placed the lights, I viewed the entire thing at night or in the evening, but I think it was at night, and I really fell in love with the way that this build looks when it's dark outside. You're going to see it in a second. And so yeah, that was when I really understood why all of the promotion for this kit was kind of based on nightlife and nice evenings in the backyard and camping and moonlight and stuff. Of course, the whole moon thing with the full moon from the promotional images is maybe more to suggest that werewolves are still coming to The Sims, which I'm still very excited about. But yeah, it's like all of those items, not all of those items, but a lot of those items just have already lights and fairy lights attached to them, like the dollhouse and also the projector and the swing set, and then we have the fairy lights themselves. And so yeah, I was so excited to see them at night, and so you're also going to see the tour at the end being at night because I just loved it. And here you see the last recordings that I did when Reshade was still working, because in between these recordings, when the update came out, the pronouns update by the way, which I am so excited about. Of course, I don't know, I think it's just executed so perfectly. Of course, there are people who are more qualified to judge if it's perfect or not, but at least for me, I am really happy about the pronouns update, and I think it's such a big step in the right direction, and I love the way it's executed. And so when that update came out, it kind of broke Reshade. I did the rest of this build without Reshade. However, I managed to install G-Shade, which is like kind of the same thing as Reshade. I think, just in my opinion, it's even easier to kind of like see what's going on with G-Shade, and it's possible to convert all of your Reshade presets into G-Shade presets. So So G-Shade is absolutely amazing, and so in the meantime I kind of updated towards it, but just the rest of the building footage itself is without any shaders. However, I still do like it, and the way that it looks, and so yeah. And now you see me decorating the night portion, and I don't know, this one really excited me and really gives this whole build this magical touch, or that really feels like this is such a childhood paradise. And if you're also someone who used to use Reshade and it's not working anymore, I can link you a G-Shade like link and also tutorial in the description, so that you can figure that whole thing for yourself out as well, because it's really useful. But now to the build and kind of the story of the build and the people that live here, because yeah, I wanted this to be a childhood paradise, and this is actually a build where I had the Sims that were supposed to live here before I had built. Usually I kind of like do it in the meantime or afterwards, kind of like the people that I imagine living there, making them in the Sims, but this time I actually had them beforehand. And before I get into that, you just saw me decorate the walkways. So this is the whole walkway and sort of terrain painting portion all done, and this was so cute because I didn't notice that at first, but then my boyfriend pointed out that these walkways kind of look like tree branches themselves, because they kind of like are shaped so naturally, and they also have this brown beige color scheme that the walkways look like one branch, and I think that was just so cute and so fitting for the treehouse thing and the treehouse theme. But I loved it so much that I definitely kept it, so that made me very happy. But now about the Sims that live here. So the Sims that I made before I made this house to live here are two gay parents, so two gay men who live here, and they, like, one of them had a biological son before they like got together, and then together they adopted two little girls, and the three children get along so well, and it's so cute, and they are like the best friends. However, these two dads that they have are incredible dads who do not care about what society thinks is normal or should be normal, and so when they had their like 3 kids, which for like normal parents or like for them as well is like such also difficult thing probably to deal with, but they do it like so graciously and with so much happiness and thankfulness for the situation that they're in, so that they were determined to give these children the childhood and the childhood home that they always wished they had. So this home is basically filled with anything a child could wish for, and they both collectively had the idea like, yeah, when we were children we both wanted a treehouse, but we never had a treehouse, so why don't we just build the best treehouse in the world? And the treehouse got so big that the entire family was able to live in the treehouse, and they just say like, I don't care what's normal and what's not normal, I just care what works for us, what makes us happy. And so they just like, as this cute family of 5 now live in this treehouse, and it's just, I don't know, to me it's just like the cutest, purest thing. And I love these Sims a lot. We got a new scenario, I think, the best friends forever scenario, and I played through that with this family, and it was just a perfect fit. And with that, this build is already complete, and my goodness, this was really fast. I really hope that you liked and enjoyed this video. If you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy, and I hope we'll see each other again.